everybody, what's going on? Your host AMF1534 here. Welcome back to Let's Play some more Gran Turismo, the ultimate driving simulator. And last episode we took on the International A and we had to do Route 11 and the final test, and we completed it in a total time of 13:01:497. Sounds kind of like a phone number, but it's not quite enough numbers. Actually, you know, it'd be enough numbers to be not like the area code included, so who knows, maybe 130-1497 is totally somebody's phone number that I'm not going to dial to figure out what it is. I really don't want to find out who's on the other side of that. It'd be fucking something creepy, like the episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark, where it was the Tale of the Phone Police, where the kids tried to dial that Billy Baxter guy in the phone book. He only had 6 numbers in his thing there, so yeah, that'd be fucking terrifying. I don't want to have any part of that. That was like one of the few episodes of that show that really genuinely kind of freaked me out. And I don't know, just because it seemed like that would be something that would totally exist for some reason. Like there would be, for some random reason that I don't understand, there'd be people that just like watch over the phone stuff, and they're actually like a police force for that sort of thing. I don't know why. It's kind of an irrational fear, but it is very real to me for some reason. And, truth be told, don't tell anybody, even though it wouldn't matter because my teacher's probably dead now from back then, but in the 3rd grade, for Mrs. Morton's class, we were supposed to write an essay, like a short story essay, on just anything of our choosing, and I may or may not have completely plagiarized the entire story of the phone police story. Like, all the way down to, like, all the short detail. Like, everybody else did, like, these little fucking, like, 3-page stories about, oh my god, I got a new cat for my birthday, blah blah blah, and I'm just like, let me tell you some shit about the phone police, dog. It's I'm off by $160. So, yeah, and, I mean, luckily, with the fact that my teacher was about as old as a dying son, that I was able to, you know, totally get away with that. Because it's not like she knew that Are You Afraid of the Dark was a real thing, so I was just like, fuck yeah, man! or, heck yeah, dude! Because I wasn't swearing at that age. I didn't start swearing until I was, in the 6th grade. That was when it started happening. I remember it too. It was like one of the first days of school, and I was sitting with a couple of friends of mine, and they were talking about something, and I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what the conversation was about, but that was like the first time that like I said it, and it felt good. I was just like, and they like asked my opinion. They're like, did you hear about that? And I was just like, fuck yeah, I heard about that. And like as soon as I did it, I was like taken back by it. I was like, oh man. Oh, I said it. I didn't get in trouble. Oh, God, yeah, I'm gonna start doing this all the time now. Yeah. But, like, I was cool about it, though. I didn't want to be... I wasn't trying to, you know, just do it just all the time in front of, like, my family. Like, I do have kind of a filter on when I do stuff like that, because, you know, I don't want to mortify my parents with that stuff, because my parents are really conservative about the way they talk. Like, they don't really swear at all unless something really pisses them off. And that's how you know that they're genuinely mad. As soon as they actually, in the rare event that they actually start saying words like shit and stuff, you're just like, oh god, I'm gonna go somewhere else, because this is not a safe place to be right now. It's about to be fucking DEFCON 5 in here. Okay, so my guess is that we should be significantly better than virtually every other car in this race right now. We just have to be really careful because of how this car controls, and you guys know that as well as I do. But I mean, this NSX will definitely give us a challenge. It's a pretty fast car, but definitely not anywhere on the same playing field as this. But I assume, I mean, one can only assume that he'll definitely give me a little run. He will. He'll make me reach into my wallet and, you know, pay off an official to make sure that I win this thing. Even though I don't really know how that would really matter. I mean, unless I'm like driving by the finish line and like one of the officials, because there are some for these, are gonna like go out onto the track and do like some speed racer crap where they're like dumping out an oil slick right there or something, and then magically cleaning it up by the time I come back around the track so I don't run into the same thing I paid him for. That would be kind of a bummer. Jenkins, you're fired! I told you to get rid of this crap before I came around! But sir, you could have just driven around the oil slick. I don't care! I gave you a $100 bill! You know, you're supposed to be up on this stuff, man! That's a significant upgrade from your minimum wage pay you were getting beforehand! Because I've been not paying you properly for your services, but still. Oh boy. I actually feel like I'm doing quite well with this car. I was kind of expecting that I was going to totally, you know, F this thing up and spin out at least once, but, you know, things are actually going fairly well. I do love when they use Autumn Ring as kind of a, as kind of like your training race for the rest of it, because I'm pretty sure that all the races will probably get a lot harder from here going forward, but this is going to be a really, really great way for us to make a nice chunk of money. That's what I'm really hoping for here, is that we'll be able to make some good money, so when we get into things like endurance races that we'll be able to do that and not really have to worry about the amount of money we have on hand. We can actually like go out and buy a really, really good car that we can use for such an occasion. Because I think that if I remember correctly, like there's only 3 endurance races in this game. And I think if I remember right, the Grand Valley one, that one you definitely have to have like a racing car for it, or just something with like an ungodly amount of horsepower in it. And then I think the other 2 are that that R11 special stage, Route 11, whatever. And I think that one of those requires like a racing caliber car, but I think it's the second one of those. It's still R11, but I think that you can actually use, like, it's one that's geared for, like, lower horsepower cars. That's, like, the introductory version of it. So I think that we could probably, we might be able to enter that one. We're going to have something that's got a pretty nice leg up on the competition. Good God, we blew them away. We might actually have a legit chance at getting pole position stuff done here. We might be able to do this. I don't like that it says Type S0, but they actually like typed out the word 0 on that. I mean, maybe they actually do that, but I don't know. It just seems weird to see it that way. But I figure maybe unless they typed it out like that, if they were to actually just put the 0 there, then maybe it would have looked like it said like Type O, like Type O blood. I don't think I know anybody with Type O blood. Because if I'm not, I'm pretty sure that I'm Type A blood, A positive. I don't remember. Something like that. Grand Valley East 2. Oh, that means we're doing it backwards. God damn it. Why does it always have to be backwards? Why can't we do this race forwards like regular people? You know? Not all these things just have to be the wrong way. Just like, oh, we got extra bored with just doing this track the right way. We want to do it the wrong way to throw you off. Somebody in the comment section in the last video made a really funny point, by the way. When I was doing the license tests for that International A one, he or she or whoever it was, they're like, anybody else find it weird that the grandstands are full for a driver's license test? Anybody find that remotely strange at all? And then it like kind of hit me. I was like, yeah, actually, that is pretty weird that would be something that's even happening right now. So, yeah, kind of weird. It's just like, hey, Jimmy, what do you want to do today? Well, you know, I heard that there's going to be a championship race going on down at the track here next weekend, but, you know, I heard that before he can participate, he's got to take, well, one of the competitors has to take a license test first. And, you know, that's something that I've just always really wanted to see that. I've never actually watched someone take their driver's license test, and I really want to. You want to go with me? Oh, well, I mean, sure, I guess. I mean, I was kind of planning on, you know, I mean, the kids were going to be gone, and I was thinking you could, you know, clean the gutters, if you know what I'm saying. Well, I mean, we could do that later, but I heard it's one of the hardest ones, and he may be doing it for several hours. Well, I mean, that's just gonna... You know what, fine, we'll do it, No sex for you, though, damn it. You ruin your own chance. I think that's like the first pole position that we've won in this game, by the way, so that's kind of exciting. By the way, I had a really, really bizarre dream. It was this morning, actually. It was like right before I woke up, so that's how I knew that it was this morning and not in the morning. So pretty much what happened was, do you guys remember the episode of Family Guy? It's like a semi-newer one. I mean, it's probably still like a couple years old. Do you guys remember the episode of Family Guy where I think it was like super stormy outside, and so everybody was stuck in the house, and Brian decided that he was going to take mushrooms to kind of pass the time, and he ended up totally freaking out, like he had like a really bad trip on him, and so he started seeing like all these super bizarre things, like people turning into bats, and like he went into like this weird version of hell, and just like all these things. I kind of had like a dream that was vaguely similar to that, and Stewie was totally in it, and it was weird. You know, like the dream itself didn't last for very long. It was actually a very, oh no, it was actually like a very, very short dream. But I remember I was in the bathroom, and Stewie was in there with me, and like we had to go somewhere, so we didn't have enough time. We didn't have really enough time to take separate showers, so I was like, hey, let's both jump in the shower, and then we can go to wherever it was that we were gonna go. And so he's like, oh, okay. And so we jump in there, and like I don't even know why it was. For some reason, when I got into the shower and turned it on, like Stewie was standing in the very back of the shower, and the shower seemed like oddly larger than normal. Oh, this turn right here. I hate this turn. This turn is always what ruins this race for me. Okay, we're good. I like how, before I go back to my story, I love how like eerily quiet this car is. You know what I'm saying? Like we've driven a lot of cars in this game where they're just like, they're really loud and like almost borderline obnoxious with like their engine sound, but like this car, it's almost eerily quiet on how it is. It's really weird. It kind of reminds me of like the Ford truck commercial where they're like, oh, the built Ford tough. It was the only Class 350 pickup, extra extended cab you could ever bring. Have a whole fucking bed full of like limestone rocks, driving over a whole bunch of speed bumps, and you wouldn't even hear jack shit in there while you're doing it. And it's like it like cuts to like somebody sitting in the cockpit while it's, you know, supposedly driving, and you can't hear anything at all. It's like, I'll fucking bet. But yeah, so we're standing in the shower, and like I just turned the water on, and he's got like this really like confused and like really uncomfortable look on his face. I was like, what's going on? Like, what's wrong? He's like, it's really dark in here. I was like, well, yeah, and I kind of like opened up the sliding door, and I was like, oh yeah, the dimmer light burned out this morning. And he's like, no, I already knew that, but it just seems like there's something wrong. And as soon as we both like turned back to look at just like the other part of the shower so I could turn like the hot water on, like all of the like the droplets of water that were there, they all turned into like rubber bullets, and they all had like crazy like demon faces on them. And so we're just like, oh god, and like the bullets were like scalding hot. Like as soon as they touch your skin, like they didn't hurt like via like the impact of them, like just from like the force of them hitting you, but like because they were so hot, they like hurt our skin really bad. And so we both like jumped out of the shower like super fast, and I grabbed one of the towels. I grabbed one of the towels that was on like the counter. So I started using it, and I was like just like trying to just like rapidly dry myself off instead of doing the obvious thing and like running out of the room like any normal person would. And so I started doing it, and I was trying to like wiping my hair off, but like it just wouldn't happen, and like my towel started like gradually turning into like this weird like purple tar. It was so weird, and like it started like just started gumming up, and like my hands started getting stuck in my hair. And I'm just like, oh, this is really weird. Oh, I don't understand what's going on. And I looked over, I was like, Stewie, is everything okay? And I looked at him, and he was like holding his towel, and he just looked so like frightened, and he was like looking at me like, he's like, I don't know what's going on. And his towel disintegrates in his hand, and he looks at me, and like out of both of his eyeballs, just like turned one of them, like out of his right eyeball was like this king cobra that came out of his right eye, and I saw it happen. I just did like this. I just did like that really weird like horror movie deep inhale while you contort your face into like this completely like, oh my god. And he's like, what? What happened? And I was like, Stewie, your eye, it's a snake. And like he goes out and like he touches it and he just goes, oh Jesus Christ. and so like I try to open the door, and the door, like as soon as I grabbed the door, I opened it, and the door like morphed into Raiden from Mortal Kombat, and he's just like, where do you think you're going? And the thing just like totally just like it started electrocuting me. And like I couldn't let go of the door, so I'm sitting here getting like 1,000,000 volts of electricity in my body, and I'm like screaming trying to get the door open, and Stewie's like walking towards me, and his body just like starts turning into like, it like, I'm trying to think of the right way to describe it. The episode of Rugrats where they had like the bowl full of grapes that they painted him into like to look like eyeballs, like he slowly started, his whole body started like turning into like a bunch of like just like a bunch of like squishy ass like eyeball grapes. But he was like still talking to me like a regular person, but he had like this really freaking creepy ass look on his face. And he's like, it was like, what's wrong? Everything's okay. And he's just like, his face is so creepy looking. And I finally kicked the door open, and as soon as I kicked the door open, I like walked out and I like ran out of my driveway, and as I ran out of my driveway, there was just this giant nuclear bomb that I was seeing, and it came all the way down, and as soon as it hit the ground, like there was like this fiery explosion, but it wasn't actually fire, it was actually like toaster strudel sauce, but it was like all red and in like the shape of flames. Dude, it was so weird. And I looked around, and like my entire like, and just like everybody that I knew were all standing in a circle around me, and they're like take a bite, it's delicious. And they all started like sprinting at me like they were gonna kill me, and I got out of my, and it jolted me awake, and I was just like, holy crap, what the hell is wrong with my brain? I don't understand what's wrong with my brain. Oh man, it was so fucking bizarre. I couldn't believe it. And I sat up there just in my bed, just like staring at the wall. And I had to sit there and just kind of take it all in for a minute. And I was like, man, I don't know what the hell I did last night before I went to bed, but I need to not do that again. Because I didn't do anything like out of the ordinary. Like I didn't eat anything before I went to bed last night. Like that was the first thing I thought about, because that's normally what gives me my really weird dreams like that. And I didn't do any of that, and I didn't watch anything really weird on TV. I had just watched 3 episodes of Life with my dad, and like the very back end of, I don't remember what movie that was now. It was like a really old movie from the 1930s. Got the very end of it. It was actually strangely a lot like Scarface, which kind of makes me wonder whether that movie was based off of that or not. I can't remember the guy that was in it. It's not really gonna bother me. But dude, it was so weird. Oh my god, it was bizarre. It was something else. So I hope you guys aren't staring at your screen wondering what in the name of goddamn John Madden and Pat Summerall you just heard, but you heard it anyways. So, when we come back on the next installment of Let's Play Gran Turismo, the Ultimate Driving Simulator, I'm probably going to talk about something a little bit more normal, and we're going to take on the next probably 2 stages of this particular thing. So, whew, boy oh boy, that was wild. Alright guys, this is AMF saying thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Sweet dreams.